Welcome to week 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be our farewell show, so we're going to celebrate
the season
finale.
Let's be honest, if your season goes into week 17, it's dumb.
Yeah, we don't respect that.
And it's not like we're going to help you a whole lot either
No.
in week 17. It's either your guys are playing or they're sitting on the bench because they've cashed in a playoff spot at this point.
Yeah. So this
Ryan
is
Fitzpatrick had their leg shattered.
Yes, that's a possibility as well.
this is the Fantasy Football Dojo. As usual, I'm Mike.
I'm Mark.
I'm Kirk.
So today, we could go through the games, but let's be honest. You're going to play who you're going to play. I mean, it's not like we're going to come up with any sort of revolutionary
There's really not a whole
starting
lot.
advice.
Yeah, we just call it when that Julio Jones is active.
Yep.
So I mean, we will go over some injury things, but that's the main thing.
I mean, DeMarco Murray's going to play. It's not like you're going to sit DeMarco Murray despite his hand surgery. If he's going to play, you're going to play him. Same with Julio Jones.
So if you guys saw Thursday Night Football Saturday edition doubleheader, which is a long title just to say football on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some pretty interesting games. There was a lot of fantasy implications.
I would like to send a shout out to Jay Gruden, and just for knocking the Eagles out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of funny. Sorry, any Eagles fans, but
Fly Eagles, fly all the way home.
Yeah. The Chargers made a momentous comeback against the Niners.
Did you see Phillip Rivers' reaction when Novak hit the game winner?
It was pretty amazing.
It was.
Yeah.
He went absolutely berserk. I saw a video of it this morning.
And he should, because if they lose that game, they're out of the playoffs pretty much. I don't know about mathematically, but they basically are.
It's one of those 9 teams have to win, lose, or to lose or tie, and this team has to win by 80 points or something.
So now, our team, the Ravens, has to win their last 2 games really to make the playoffs, which, I mean, they should. If they don't, they got nobody to blame but themselves. They're going to have the Case Keenum-led Houston Texans today.
are you sure it's not a Thad Lewis day?
No,
They called Case Keenum.
They did, okay.
He actually knows
He
supposedly he
knows
actually
the offense, just a matter of executing it. But they called him at the Piggly Wiggly he was working at, and they said, "Oh, hey, Case, let's make it happen."
The
His arms are
Winn-Dixie.
still good from bagging groceries.
Yeah, he's still tight.
They pulled him from the assistant manager program at the Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, at the Winn-Dixie. That's cold. He's still made more money than we'll ever make in our entire lives,
yeah.
but that's okay.
Probably combined.
Yeah, combined. So what we think we'll do today, besides some of the game time stuff, we're gonna take a look back. We're in the Wayback Machine.
Year in review.
We're gonna think about some postseason awards. We're gonna think about how the first round of everybody's draft looked like complete garbage by the end of the year, probably.
I just want to take a moment and say, when we first met and we did our draft, if someone would have told me I'd be in a third place game, first off, I'd say, I hate you, because that means I'm not in the first place
By
game.
the way, we will get into the formal protest.
Yeah, so that'll be touched on too, touching everything on Sundays. And then, so if you would have told me I'm starting Mark Sanchez and in some leagues scouting for Jonathan Stewart, I'd be like, jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
Seriously, like I don't want to play fantasy football that involves that, like that type of decision making. But I did have to play him, and I noticed we are facing each other, Kirk, this weekend for third place for the Bronze, which has no money in our league.
Nope.
It's just for pride.
It is for just.
Yeah, but it's a blood feud for you guys at this point.
It's
like the third matchup.
And
I think we've got one apiece, don't we?
we do. And you're starting Jimmy
I am
Clausen.
starting Jimmy Claus.
You're starting the pickle.
Jimmy Bogod Clausen.
I am doing it only for the mere fact just to spite Jay Cutler.
It's a novelty. It really is.
And honestly, let's face it, I went to the quarterback pool that is left in our league, and only Andy Dalton was there. And
That's because I had the rotating trio of Eli Manning, Mark Sanchez, and Cam Newton on my team.
Ooh, that's sexy.
Right, because I had Nick Foles. Everyone, but let me just throw that out there. I drafted Nick Foles. I didn't draft him too high or anything. It was working for me until he got shattered.
So the protest that Kirk's making reference to.
I am making
let's talk about
protest
this.
because apparently Yahoo doesn't know how a playoff ranking works.
It happened in a couple other leagues that
Yahoo were mad at you.
if you didn't manually change it, it ranked your seedings really weirdly, like your matchups.
Well, we had the first week of the playoffs was normal. I was the 4 seed, so I played the 6 seed. Maurice,
No, you played
you were
the
the
fifth
3.
seed.
I
was the
You were the
no,
3
I was
seed.
the 4 seed.
Oh, then you played 5.
Then you played 5.
Or 5. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I did play the 5. I played Justin. He was the 5 seed. Maurice was the 3 seed, and he played Cody. He was the 6 seed. You two were 1 and 2, so you got a first round bye. That's great. I won, so therefore, and so did Maurice. He won, right?
No,
No,
Cody won.
Cody
Cody
didn't.
won. So
you had a
therefore,
5 and a 6 seed.
Yeah,
that
I was a
preceded.
4.
Oh, okay, 4 and a 6.
So the 6th seed should have played the number 1 player, Mark.
Yeah.
I should have played the number 2 seed, Mike. I didn't. I played Mark instead and lost by 4.6 points.
And I played
I would
Cody.
have shattered Mike because he put up a whopping 88.
Yeah, thanks to all my players.
Yeah,
that
he
didn't
had a
do
pretty
anything.
rough week. So therefore, I should be in the championship against Mark because Mark would have beat Cody.
And the same exact thing happened to me in a league that I am the commissioner for where I work. And I was on the opposite end of it. I was the 6th seed, ended up winning my wild card game and facing the 2 seed and lost, but I would have beat the 1 seed because he had Aaron Rodgers score 8 points for him.
Right.
So I should have been in the championship game in that league too. So
See,
it all
we're
comes
gonna
around.
give the Week 15 donkey awards to Andrew Luck, scoring 2 touchdowns in the first half and then doing nothing.
Yeah.
Well, also his offensive line for holding on a 45-yard touchdown to Moncrief.
Thanks a lot,
That got
guys.
called back. We're also going to give it to Andy Reid and the Chiefs upper manager, or even all management, for pulling Jamal Charles and letting Nile Davis run all over the field. When apparently Charles was just fine.
I don't understand.
He had nothing wrong.
I don't understand why you have an asset like Jamal Charles and yet you don't get him the ball as much as they,
And then
should.
every game at the post-game press conference, they're like, yeah, we probably should have gotten Charles the
Yeah.
ball a little bit more. He'll get more touches next week. I'm like,
Right.
no, he gets all the touches.
Right.
But there is only Jamal Charles.
Look at other teams that feed their stud running backs, Le'Veon Bell. That's why the Steelers are in playoff contention, because they're just riding that train.
Dallas
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Even Denver. Hell, they've been
Right,
pushing
CJ.
C.J. Anderson.
So it's amazing. So let's think of some other players. Oh, Julio Jones for probably winning you your first round playoff game if you had to play one in week
Yes, he did
week
for me.
14.
He did.
But hurt his hip after his 9,000th catch that game on his 278th yard. And then he got 2 games worth of points in one game, and then left you high and dry. Now, if you were able to go get Harry Douglas, it worked out to a degree. He had pretty good stats. But so he's a donkey. Who else? Who else can we think of?
I mean, if you were dumb enough to try and start Johnny Manziel last week,
Well, no,
you paid for it.
you
dearly.
shouldn't. No.
But that's kind of your own fault.
He is pretty. He is in some pretty elusive company or exclusive company with the worst starts in NFL history.
It was, I think,
It was one of
based on quarterback rating. He had a 1,
Yeah, he had a 1
just 1.
QBR. Or something like that.
Was it even one?
Yeah,
It was bad.
I think it was. I don't know if it goes lower than 1.
You could throw Jordy Nelson's name out there
Oh yeah, he was a big
for
donkey.
one of the most horrendous drops in NFL history.
And Rodgers. I mean, I actually called it on this show last week. I said I didn't know that the Bills are going to outright win that game, but I said it was going to be ugly. I didn't know it was going to be that ugly.
I thought they
but-
were going to be suppressed, versus their normal statistics.
Right.
I didn't think Rodgers was going to go out there and have his first game ever with no touchdowns and 2 picks.
It just goes shows
Ever.
the Bills' defense is absolutely serious.
They're for real, and they got the Raiders this week, so
Yeah.
it's a big one.
If you
Go get the
have
Bills.
defense, you might as well.
Actually, a couple other donkeys though.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, 30-0 whooping. AJ Green did nothing.
Yeah, and they pulled Jeremy Hill, and they gave a touchdown to Rex Burkhead.
What?
Rex Burkhead, MD. It's pretty strong. I like that. That's the guy Joey played on Friends, right? So obviously, I mean, this happens every year. This isn't like anything new. You get to the playoffs and the whole league turns upside down, and players that have been great all year are terrible, and vice versa. So, fantasy's a crapshoot. That's why you can't take it too seriously. I mean, for these guys that are out there playing like $1,000 buy-in leagues and stuff, I don't know how they do
Dude,
it. I
it's crazy.
want to put a knife in my hand watching the games, and I've got $25, $50 buy-ins. I don't know how these guys do it with these high stakes leagues.
Imagine the DraftKings that we see, the weekly buy-ins, and some of these are like $1,060.
That's just
It's
crazy.
like, what?
The one I see fill up almost the fastest is when it's $1,500
Yeah.
buy-in, but you can win $3.1 million.
Right, exactly.
You could.
Yeah, they have
you
satellites for those too, but
Yeah, a lot of the big winners in, I think it was actually FanDuel this season. Almost all like the grand prize winners of like the satellites and stuff started with a $2 or $5 buy-in, which is insane.
you just got to go on a roll and you got to get
Yeah.
lucky. But so if we're thinking about awards for this year, if you were to pick the fantasy MVP, and the definition of fantasy MVP would be compared to draft position, who's done the most? Well, I mean, besides Tony, of course, he's
Right.
the fantasy MVP.
Yeah.
We know that. But if you were to pick a player based on where they were drafted or not drafted, and got the most value out of, who do you guys think?
I'd have to think a little more. Off the top of my head, obviously Justin Forsett
I was
pops
thinking
up.
Forsett.
because he probably was not
There's
drafted.
no way Forsett was drafted in any league because at the time Bernard Pierce was the starter. And Rice was still going to be coming back in 3 or 4 games.
He's only going to miss the first
or 2. I'm sorry, it was 2. Sorry, seems like so long ago.
Before hypocrisy and things took hold.
Nonsense.
So. Honestly, one of the best ones was he wasn't even drafted because he was a hurt rookie. Was Odell Beckham?
Oh yeah.
And then the guy
Beckham came out of
putting
nowhere.
up monster numbers.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where Beckham goes in drafts next year.
I expect him to be a 3rd-round receiver.
I've heard places say that he could be a 2nd-round pick.
I've heard it as well.
And somebody in every league will pick him 1 round too high.
It's going to be the guy that got him this year. He's going to come. If he didn't keep him, he's going to come back and be like, I'm drafting
He'd
him
actually
again.
that's one hell of a keeper.
But the thing is, what happens if you remember when Victor? I know it's his first year anyway, but when Victor Cruz was on the field, he wasn't putting up those numbers.
I don't think him and Cruz. I don't think him and Cruz played together.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I think Cruz was hurt by the time.
Yeah.
The reason he got the push
healthy.
is because.
But let's be honest, Victor Cruz was good. He's not Odell.
No,
he's not Odell. But
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying with the healthy Cruz back, the offense could look a little different next year.
I think the biggest factor is going to be the fact that defenses can go and scheme for him.
Yeah.
Well, I think with Victor Cruz back on the field, it just gives him more looks, just for the mere fact that you still have to cover Victor Cruz.
He'll pull more attention away, and Beckham will get some.
I wouldn't have any problem pulling the trigger in 2nd round next year, though, in a PPR.
I wouldn't feel bad about it. PPR. No.
He's had like almost 80 catches in 10 games.
Yeah.
Like he's averaging 8 catches
with
a game.
Eli Manning throwing to him.
It's just not sustainable, though. I mean.
He did it with Eli Manning. Imagine if he had an Aaron Rodgers or a Peyton Manning throwing to him.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look at the overall wide receiver rankings going into next year, but I wouldn't take him over a Julio Jones or a, well, here's the thing. There's some guys that are older that are going to fall down the ranks. Brandon Marshall's not going to be where he was this year in drafts, for example. But I would take Jeffrey over him. I would take I'd still take Calvin Johnson over him.
I was going to say, I know it's sacrilegious to start thinking this, but next year is going to start to be decision time on where do you draft Calvin Johnson because that team doesn't score touchdowns, at least with their receivers.
But things change from year to year.
Know,
I mean, you got to see where the players move in the offseason and stuff.
That was a dagger for most people drafted him in the 1st round this year. A lot of people.
He was a first-round pick in a lot of leagues.
So yeah, you want to go over the top? Let's see. Do we have the ability to pull up our draft?
You got to go through the browser to do it, but. Oh, Tony does. There you go. All right, Tony's gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna get the producer on it. See what our first and 2nd round looked like.
So while he's doing that, here's what I think is going to end up happening next year, and this is the useful data part of your podcast for today, as opposed to the fun stuff we're going to be doing here. Going into next year, I think everybody would probably agree. I guess the whole running back theory is kind of out the window at this point. There just aren't enough good running backs to go around.
And you can never predict who's going to continue to play well.
I think that was kind of on the way out going into this year, but I think next year you're going to see a big difference in 1st and 2nd round. You're going to see a lot more receivers. You're going to see a lot more quarterbacks. You could make an argument that in the top 5, only probably 3 of them would probably be running backs, because you'd have to look at probably Luck and maybe even Rodgers in the top 5 going into next year, in my opinion. Maybe you guys don't.
No, it's a passing league, and I feel fantasy follows what the league trends are, honestly.
Right.
And yeah, if you're late to this running back game, now if you ended up getting a running back that was solid for you, the only guy that was actually solid, in my opinion, that avoided injury, avoided controversy, avoided matchups, Le'Veon Bell. That's the only.
But Bell wasn't a first round.
I know he wasn't. That's what I'm saying. But he's the only running back that avoided all of the hurdles. Everyone else fell to either injury at some point. They completely fell off the face of the planet, or they beat people, or literally had legal problems. So
the only other one that's close, and he just got injured recently, is DeMarco Murray. I mean, let's face it, the first 9 weeks he was just an absolute workhorse.
And you had people that fully believed in him going into the draft and would take him in the back end of the 1st round. But in most drafts I was in, he was a second round.
He was a 2nd round pick. But that kind of proves the theory. I mean, if you're sitting in your championship game right now and you're in the catbird seat and you got a really good roster, you are going to have a running back core of guys that were taken in the 3rd round or later.
Usually.
I mean, your 1st round running backs were Adrian Peterson. I mean, it's a weird situation, but he got nothing.
But still, yeah.
Jamal Charles has been hurt and underused. We've already covered that. Yep. LaShawn McCoy has been somewhat of a disaster.
He doesn't fit in Chip Kelly's offense.
Although, in the grand scheme of things, compared to the rest of the running backs in the league, he's still a top 10 running back.
Absolutely.
But he wasn't LaShawn McCoy in capital letters.
Do us a favor, Tony. Can you make that the full screen on ours, please?
So if you go up to where is it? There should be a draft link up the top near where scoring and settings is. There you go, draft. There you go. Click on that. Yeah, Draft Central. There you go. Click on that. All right, so you see draft results. All right, click on draft results. Go down a little bit. There you go. There you go.
Excellent.
So this is our draft. So, LaShawn McCoy went first. Calvin Johnson went second. Manning, Peterson, Jamal Charles.
That was me.
Forte. Forte's been good.
Yeah, we didn't really. I was just about to bring up Forte. Out of the first round running backs, Forte was probably the one that's been most consistent because they had to use in PPR formats. He's been awesome.
He had
in
one
standard
or
scoring
two stinkers,
formats,
and that was it.
Yeah, he's been meh. But
and I think
that team's a total show going into next year, so who knows what's happening there. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah, and then Eddie Lacy had a really bad first month.
Mm-hmm.
But if he didn't bury you and you managed to make it out of there with a 500 record or better, you were counting on him down the stretch.
Yep.
He was definitely paid off.
Jimmy Graham experiment fully proved that you cannot take a tight end in the first round ever.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me, and I ended up in the championship game still somehow. But I went the Jimmy Green route, and I had AJ Green too, who ended up getting hurt.
Jimmy Graham Green.
Did I say Jimmy Green?
Yeah.
Wow, Jimmy Green doesn't even exist. All right,
Jam.
So if you look at DeMarco Murray, end of the second round.
Wow, hold on. Des Bryant went number 10.
Went number 10 overall.
Wow.
Jordy Nelson was a bit of a revelation. Everybody knew he was going to put up points, but he is
not like
huge.
Cody went
huge
back
year.
to back Bryant and Ball, so he avoided. So you avoided the Jimmy Graham issues, and he avoided the Monte Ball issues because he probably picked up, did well with the running backs.
Levy and Bell went in the end of round 3.
Yeah, which is
by you, wasn't
by
it?
me.
Yeah.
That was. I got Levy and Bell in most of the leagues I played in because I did not think that the weed arrest was going to affect him, and I got lucky and it didn't.
Right. Because that was a big concern at the time.
Not to mention they had LeGarrette Blount vulturing carries.
I'd like to say that you got Le'Veon Bell after Andre Johnson.
Yep, I did. After Zach Stacy.
Let's talk about. He probably is the Donkey of the Year award.
I don't know that it's any fault of his own because the guy never really had much of a reputation going in. He just got an opportunity. Played well.
I said in all my leagues, wasn't touching that guy with a 10-foot
I didn't have
pole.
Zach Stacy in any league because I didn't feel that he warranted his draft spot. But yeah, if you're looking at those first couple rounds, barring child abuse charges and weirdness, guys that didn't get hurt, Zach Stacy's the worst, man.
I took Giovanni Bernard in the third round. That was a pretty big bust.
But
ever since about week 5, he's been hurt and he's been crappy.
Yeah, no, that's true. But you didn't get him in the first round or the second round. Like third round is still it's
still pretty important. Let's be honest.
It hurts, but you didn't reach for him. That's the thing. You actually in a lot of leagues he was going higher than that. Let's put it that way. So,
So as you can see, the first 3 rounds are a bit of a crapshoot. I mean, the first round especially is just a minefield. I mean, unless out of those 10 picks, McCoy is a question mark. Calvin Johnson was hurt a bunch of the year. Manning lived up to the hype, although he's fading in the fantasy playoffs like he does every year. Charles was good but not great. Demaryius Thomas was pretty amazing. So you really got a 50-50 shot in the first round as to whether those players even helped you at all.
Tony, can you scroll down, please? I got Gronk in the 6th round.
Yeah. I mean, that's
big injury concerns.
Yeah. Big injury concerns. You took the chance and got him.
T.Y. Hilton in the 7th round, and he turned out to be pretty
T.Y.
awesome.
Hilton was a pretty big breakthrough guy. Did you get Hilton after Cordell Patterson? Because that would have been quite a get.
I thought you took Cordell Patterson later.
Patterson's in the 5th round.
Patterson's in the 5th round. I didn't take him.
That was Brian.
Yeah, Cordell Patterson, one of the biggest busts of the year. Comes out in the first game as 100 yards rushing, scores a touchdown, and then completely does nothing.
I'm just noticing that the only reason I even had a chance this year was because of late round draft picks. I got Golden Tate in the 9th round.
Yeah, that was the controversial screw up pick.
Yeah, but just
Andrew Luck went in the end of the 6th round.
Yeah,
that's crazy. If only we could go back.
I know.
But no,
I have to go back.
I had him targeted in a bunch of leagues, and I knew he would go after Rodgers, after Breeze, after
Manning.
If you went in
after
with the
Manning.
philosophy that you were going to not take one of those top 4 quarterbacks and you were going to try and pick one guy to focus on, Luck was probably the guy. I ended up getting him for $15 in an auction league.
Yeah, that was
Because
crazy.
I was like, I'm not going to take one of the top quarterbacks and pay $40 for a quarterback.
Right.
So I got to figure out which one of these guys that are kind of on the cusp are going to be good. And I
He'll be
ended up getting
$40
lucky on
next
it.
year.
Oh, he'll be more net next year. He's been absolutely nuts.
Even in leagues that penalize fairly heavily for turnovers, it just doesn't matter.
No, he's such a volume play. It's crazy.
So he's throwing 400 yards a game and 4 touchdowns.
It does hurt though that his worst game of the season came in
Oh, yeah.
the
But
playoffs.
even, last week wasn't a bad game for any other quarterback. It was an average game. It's just if you're leaning on him as hard as
it's
some
games
people
like that
are.
though where his turnovers kill you. When he only has
Yeah.
1 or 2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
that's when it's a problem.
T.Y. Hilton was in round 7 as opposed to Cordell Patterson in round 5. That's funny. So, as you can see, you got to get lucky with some of these late round draft picks to have it work out for you. But, like I said, I think we're going to see a lot more receivers in the first 2 rounds next year.
I took Jeremy Hill in round 11 or 12, and I guess I dropped him because he's not on my team now. So I think I took him because I got mad because you
Then I
took Gio,
And
I
he
was
said, I'm going
like,
to take his handcuff.
yeah, and then I guess I did. I needed someone.
Actually, Mike Evans went in round 10. That was a real
Yeah.
nice late season. Of course, you picked him off
I picked him up
waivers.
off waivers because he got hurt. I managed to get him. So, we've talked about the biggest busts. We've talked about the biggest steals. Who do you think is our rookie of the year this year? This is a way deeper category than
man.
it's ever been,
Yeah,
by the way.
it's
Because typically
you gotta
you
go
don't
Beckham.
see...
I was going to say, you have to go.
Yeah,
with
you
Beckham.
got to go Beckham.
Did Beckham even get drafted?
No.
I don't think he did
Yeah.
because he was hurt. He was
Yeah.
hurt, and he was indefinitely hurt. It wasn't like he was hurt and he's going to be back in a week or 2.
So they weren't sure if he was going to play this year.
Yeah. I mean, despite the fact that he missed, the first month of the season,
Yeah.
he's the best rookie. It's not – I would say it's not even close, but it's funny because it really isn't close, and you've got guys like Mike Evans and Kelvin Benjamin involved. Evans has got 11 touchdowns. Benjamin's got, I think, 9?
Something like that.
Off the top of my head.
I'll also point out that the producer over there took Arizona's defense in the 16th round. That's a good pick. They were a really good defense this year.
They were stout.
Yeah, if you need any proof, by the way, that defenses are completely random, this was the year
Yeah.
to really prove your point.
Well, Seattle came back. Like, if you ended up just trudging through and you held on to Seattle, they've been paying off recently, but not really. I mean, they didn't help you in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but look, we just proved it. Look at the guys in the rounds where you were, some people were getting defenses.
Oh, I know.
You can get guys that are quality players, and those defenses probably aren't going to be relevant.
You will never be able to convince me that drafting a team defense or a kicker before the last round, or not even getting one at the time of the draft.
I don't draft defenses and kickers.
Right, you kind of wait
because I don't
that
know
extra
who's
week
good.
or 2. Right. So
I get one before the season starts, but why not take an extra, lottery ticket rookie or something that might get a spot before the season
right,
starts?
and I get the point. Well, a bench player can't get you points, and a good defense can. It just doesn't matter.
You just
because
don't know which one's good.
We proved this year that the NFL is the craziest it's ever been, and you
Yeah.
never can tell week in and week out what.
And your
is going
best
to
strategy
happen.
for defenses is just pick the one that faces the worst offense.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, that's the
I mean,
same
that's
guy.
really all there is to it.
The same guy screaming that is the guy who drafted the Bears defense because they were good last year.
Right.
And look what happened to him.
And they're a disaster.
No, it is. Picking-
So there's the
yeah.
controversial playoff tree.
Right.
I'm in the championship game against Cody. Cody is currently drubbing me because he started Phil Rivers.
Starting Phillip Rivers with a hurt back, playing against San Francisco, and he gets 4 TDs out of him. I don't
Kudos,
think I don't
man.
I don't
What can you
think
say?
he's I don't think he's Irish, but he definitely acted like it this weekend. So
So
we'll see what happens there.
So there's the season in recap here in our last week of the year.
So we did want to give a shout out to Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice did really well
As a first-year fantasy player,
as our guinea pig.
he made the playoffs and was leading the league for multiple weeks.
He was.
He started off, 6-0?
Yeah,
7-0?
something like
I mean,
that.
it was
He was the 3rd seed. Ended up getting beat by Cody, but not by much. I mean, you can see there.
it was 1 point.
And like I said,
point.
and he had luck. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's luck had sort of a down game, and that's what happens.
I remember because I was watching the Falcons game, and Maurice's last prayer was Steven Jackson. And Jackson's last carry, he got tackled at the 2.
Oh.
Because
All right,
that's what Steven Jackson does, by the way.
All right, so let's get into some bad beats real quick that brought it up. So Super Fantasy Brothers here. We have a shared team
God, this
in a
is the
league
worst.
that's pretty competitive, I would say. There's no keepers. It is PPR. There are bonuses if you either throw, catch, or run for more than 40 yards in a single play. And then there's bonuses for going over 100 yards, either rushing, receiving, or 300 yards passing. Yeah. So there's a lot of points to be had. You're looking at 170 to 200 points. It's like, you had a pretty strong week. So we, our team has Andrew Luck, Jamal Charles, Mike Evans. We had Julio Jones and Brandon Marshall at one point. So, our team was a little bit depleted, but so we're going into Sunday night last week. We're up by 100. We're up about 144 to 46. And the gentleman we're playing has Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, and Jeremy Maclin. So we also just came off of we're feeling all right because we're up by 100. We know there's a lot to go, but it's the only thing that could happen to get us is Romo and Dez Bryant each get 3 touchdowns.
And guess what?
And that's exactly what happened.
For the first time in their career.
Right. And now we have
hook up for 3
the
touchdowns.
only person we had left was Parkey. And
yeah, we had the Eagles kicker. Eagles are down 11 with 3 minutes left.
Just about, yeah.
If they kick an extra point or if they kick a field goal to make it a 1-score game, we take the lead and probably hold on.
Yeah.
It does not happen.
It didn't
Mark
happen.
Sanchez throws a horrendous pick over the middle.
Also, let's go through the things that could have let's not forget the final score.
Yeah, the deficit was 0.14 points.
Yes.
14/10 of a point.
Yeah, we lost by that much, and if any of these things could have happened, let's just throw it out there. Jamal Charles runs for 5 more yards.
Or catches one more pass.
Or catches a pass.
Anybody on our team catches a pass.
That gets us the win. Jeremy Hill doesn't get pulled for Rex Burkhead in the third quarter because he already had 30 points plus in our league. He actually did his job. Thank you, Jeremy Hill. Andrew Luck does something in the second half against the freaking Texans.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, there's a million things that could have happened.
I know.
The Cardinals defense could have had another sack. I mean, anything would have gotten us there.
I'm just saying the amount of outs we had to actually not lose that.
Oh, sure. Oh, it was heartbreaking.
But the fact that we lost, at least at that round, Julio Jones and Brandon Marshall, and we're still competing was still pretty impressive. We did put up 200 points multiple times in that league.
Yeah, we're in the third place game,
and we're getting stomped right now.
Yeah, we're getting stomped because the guy started
Gates.
Antonio Gates. Anyway, so if you're looking at today's games, the brief version of the weekly games, the Falcons have to win.
Yeah, the things you're looking at now are teams that you think are supremely motivated.
Yeah.
So it's almost like looking at bowl games. Do these teams have something to play for? Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's starting. People are getting eliminated now, so you're going to see people maybe getting benched. So they don't get injured for next year. People are trying out. Yeah. Manziel's in his second tryout week. No one should ever play him. I'm just saying. But you're looking at defenses now being feasting. A
lot of guys that you might play, guys like a Mike Evans. The Bucs aren't going to do anything this year.
And we are playing him. We have to play him, and
they might they might even sit him in the second half. They start getting trounced. Yeah. Why not?
I don't. Well,
but I'm saying there are guys like him that are going to be in that situation.
This is the prime reason to not play Week 17 because in Week 16 you can kind of stay away from guys getting benched and stuff. But
you're hoping your superstars are playing home field advantage.
And like I said, this year has been one of the years where everyone is very everything's diluted to the point where we still have people that need to play for positioning. They're jockeying. Yeah. The only team that's even close to not caring is Patriots, but they always will care no matter what.
Yeah. And you never know what.
And it's always right, exactly. You never know who's going to score on their team, but they will continue to put up 40 points because that's what they do.
Because it's Bill Belichick. And I'm pretty sure he's got a complex about that.
But I like that, his whistle. So the game that we're looking at with Atlanta and New Orleans, there's so many players that you could easily have if you're in a playoff, a championship or a third place game scenario. So you've got, Julio Jones, who is a go, apparently. Now, is he going to be a decoy? I don't know. But now you got to play him. Because if you're in a championship or a third place game and you sit Julio Jones, he goes off for 200, you're an idiot. So you have to play him.
It happened to you, too.
Oh, yeah, it definitely happened to us.
It didn't hurt us, though.
Didn't hurt us. We still won the game. But, we did. Sat him when he had 1,000,000 yards. Right. The big thing with the Falcons Saints game is
it's a division. This is a game that really matters.
If you think back to Week 1, they met in Week 1. Yeah. Matt Ryan had his best game of his life, and they won in overtime on a field goal in Atlanta. And everybody in that game had a huge game statistically.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to happen again? Who knows? But I know New Orleans can score. And I know Atlanta is capable of putting up some yards. It's in a dome, so it's not like it's outdoors and you have to worry about that. The Falcons and the Saints are a strong play. I don't see anybody on that team that's prominently involved that you don't want to play. And, I mean, to complete our journey as the worst playoff team in history, Atlanta has to win this game.
Yeah. You. So they could get in with 6 wins? Or they have to get 7?
No, mathematically they could get in with 6. I don't. The Saints haven't won 7 yet.
Because they're still at 5 wins right now, right?
They're 5-9. Yeah.
Right. So if they win today, they definitely own both they own that tiebreakers. They would have beaten the Saints twice.
Yeah, but then you got to worry about the Panthers,
right,
who have the tie on their record, and they play the miserable Cleveland Browns today. So
who could win 35-7?
Right.
Today?
So in the journey to become the worst playoff team, to become the team that hosts a playoff game and has a 17-point spread against them, Atlanta must win today.
So
they have to beat Carolina in Week 17.
I was gonna say, so Carolina could get in with, 6-9-1.
Oh sure.
Is that?
Oh,
or
that's definitely
7-9-1.
No, 6-9-1. It's in play.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
It's
6-9-1.
Sure. Absolutely.
What a joke.
Oh, it would be hilarious.
I was really hoping for the 4-12 playoff team, like the 5-11.
Here's the great part: if Atlanta doesn't make the playoffs, they got a top 5 draft pick, so you're all set. Depending on what else happens.
Do they really?
Either way.
Yeah,
do they really? I know it's definitely a top 10.
If they end up with 5
true.
wins, they're going to end up in the top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be top 5 probably. I'm exaggerating, but
I don't know. They the only ones
well,
I can think are
the problem is
the
you've
Bucks,
got
the
a
Raiders.
million teams with 2 and 3 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom of the league is
Titans,
just miserable.
Jags, the 2 teams that just played.
Yep.
Right.
Or 2 and 3 wins respectively. You got the Raiders.
So it could be a 5 or 6
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Depending
It's
on what
very
else
well
happens.
possible.
Yeah. So, it works either way.
I've never
We're
seen
gonna
a
miss that
team.
game today anyway.
It's a 1 o'clock game.
I've never seen a team such as the
watch.
Falcons where they have so much talent and have actually sucked 2 years in a row, where they might actually build this strange dynasty at some point where they're going to have all these top draft picks because they keep sucking.
Yeah.
Like,
They
with good players.
They find new ways to lose games. Is basically what it amounts to.
I mean, I'm not to get too far into this esoteric conversation about the Falcons, but the coaching has to go. Do we agree?
If he wins the division, you can't fire him. That's the problem.
No, you can. If you're going 5-11,
And the
6-10,
decisions he's made this year.
It's been
the head coach.
He's cost them at least 2 wins.
It was like a couple years where the Ravens had Cam Cameron and we're like, look, I don't even mind if we miss the playoffs. I don't want to get in at 10-6 or 9-7 and get bounced in the first round, but because they made the playoffs, Cam Cameron sticks around.
Here's the
like
thing.
we want him gone.
Yeah.
Mike Smith will always have a place in my heart because he took the job after Bobby Petrino booked on him, and he stuck with that team.
Yeah, let's all remember Bobby Petrino quitting in the mid-season. Who quits?
That was the
an
Joey.
NFL
That was the
coaching job?
Joey Harrington year, by the way.
I know, but still.
Yeah, the darkest of days for the Atlanta Falcons. But no, Mike Smith. I'm going to assume you're not going to be here by the time we get back next year. Thanks for the memories, really. I mean, in all honesty, he took us to an NFC Championship game. He had 6 playoff appearances? No, not that many. 5 playoff appearances, something like that.
You care way more
Good
than any of their
times.
fans actually in Atlanta.
Oh, of course. Oh, I'm probably the number 1 Atlanta Falcons fan on the Eastern Seaboard, and I live in Baltimore. But anyway, back to fantasy football. So, what other games are we looking for today to score copious amounts of fantasy points?
If you somehow snuck by with Aaron Rodgers or Jordy Nelson or Randall Cobb, you need them to put up points today against the Bucs.
The battle of the Bays.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna need that. We're looking for Andrew Luck to go off.
Yeah, Dallas and Indianapolis is going to be the game everybody's going to have to watch for their fantasy
Yeah.
games because I guarantee you every
T.Y.
matchup
Hilton's
has
not
at
gonna
least
play.
4 players.
That's-
in it. Hilton's out.
He's still. Last I checked, he was still out.
I'm gonna check.
Or
on
he was
that.
listed as severely questionable.
That's a big deal.
Moncrief becomes a play.
Moncrief becomes a
Russ.
big
Huge
play. So yeah, if T.Y. Hilton's out, go find Dante Moncrief because Dallas's defense isn't bad, but they're not great. Other than that, you're looking at the Monday night game. I think every matchup in the championship is going to go down to Monday night.
He's a long shot, quote unquote, to play today.
long
So we're waiting on the injury report, the official injury report.
So Denver and Cincinnati play tomorrow night, and that's going to pretty much decide every fantasy matchup.
Be careful though. That is a 4:25 game. Do not screw yourself.
No, that's
Make sure-
right.
Make sure
that's
you
right.
have options.
Colts and Dallas are a 4:00 game, so make sure that you have options.
All right, we're gonna do this on air then. So our team that we're battling for third
Yeah.
place, Moncrief was available. I just got him.
Put them in.
Okay, so we're taking out Steven Jackson.
Yes.
Okay. And then
Dante
we still
Moncrief.
have Harry Douglas in, so we're putting in Julio Jones.
Yeah, because Roddy White's playing, right?
I'm going to double check.
I would assume he is, but yeah, I will take my chances with Dante Moncrief if T.Y. Hilton's out. Yes, because Steven Jackson, God bless him, Steven Jackson, we love you, but in a PPR league, he's not much of a factor.
Roddy White is active.
Okay.
Which actually helps Julio, so, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we were thinking about playing Harry Douglas, too. And if Roddy White was hurt, that would have been a great deal for us.
Yeah,
We'd have
absolutely.
had both of their receivers, but such is life. So, just to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at for next year, we're going to be back next season. We're going to be bigger and better than ever. We'll probably do some graphic work and see what we can do for some statistics and stuff. Getting a thumbs up from the Overlord over here. So, it's a good time, and we've had a great time doing
for a
this,
trial
man.
run.
We got some guys that were first year guys that will definitely do it again, I'm sure.
And
we've got some that we're going to bounce, and we're going to refill with people that really, if anyone listens to us and wants to join,
if you'd like
shoot
to
us a
join the league
message,
next year,
and
shoot us a message.
we'll definitely get you in. I mean, we'd like to have some listeners be in the league.
This will be, if you listen to the ESPN Fantasy Focus podcast, it'll be our version of the Man's League.
Yeah.
Except it's not that manly, really. But that's
it's pretty manly. Look at his
manly.
beard.
That's true. It's good. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'm speaking.
I had a great moment the other day. I went into a local pub, pool hall, actually. And a guy comes up and starts looking at the beard and,
assessing it.
First he went to touch it, and I just don't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And you can see I am waiting for him to call me Duck Dynasty, because that's what everybody does.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's annoying. They didn't invent the beard. They didn't make the beard cool. They just happened to be some jackasses with beards on TV. And he goes, "You look like," and he's so drunk he can barely stand, and he's sitting there pointing at me constantly like an old man, just shaking his finger, and he's, "You look like Brett Kiesel." And I'm like,
I haven't had that one yet.
I'll accept that.
Which is a pretty magnificent pull for a drunk guy.
Yeah. Well, apparently, he's a Ravens fan. He's decked out in purple, and he's.
We're all familiar with Pittsburgh Steelers
and he's
players.
So I mean, we all know him pretty well. But
I was actually going to say,
that.
if you're going to have a beard doppelganger, it would be Brett Kiesel. Yeah,
because the guy is a monster. He is.
I never actually thought Duck Dynasty. That's the first time it even crossed my mind. Because you're more the biker automotive beard guy as
not
opposed
a hunter,
to the redneck
real tree.
guy.
Yeah,
real tree.
I like sitting on my couch on Saturday mornings instead of in a tree stand.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Because it's really early in the morning. It's really cold outside, and I don't want to go.
It is very cold. It's not fun at all. So what do we think, guys?
Do you want me to roll the spicy dice?
Yeah, why not?
So we had our podcast.
Oh yeah, we had the Ninja
holiday
Legion
party
holiday blowout last night.
So I got spicy dice.
I got a box of dicks.
To
clarify,
yes.
it was a white elephant gift exchange, and I got a box of penis-shaped linguine.
It was
Weenie.
It was
Weenie
Weenie
Linguine.
which actually Paul took from me.
He was really excited about it.
Yeah,
actually.
he was. It was a little weird. And then he disappeared. So then I ended up with, if you would please.
Oh, yes, hang on.
Hold on. This is the actual gift that I got before Mike gets to his gift, because his is better. So I just want to save his.
Excuse me while I pass this.
I got a bottle of Cock Lightning. It is fruit punch flavored whiskey, and it's not
the
bad.
official liquor of the Fantasy Football Dojo. Cock Lightning. It'll get you drunk.
Yeah. You guys want a stiff one?
No. I'm kidding. Not after last night. No, thank you.
It says "Go Cox" on the side. I wonder if it is
It
from
might
South
be
Carolina.
The South Carolina.
Let's see.
That very well could be.
Official liquor.
It's got a Greenville, South Carolina.
There it is.
It's got a football.
So that
helmet.
is. Yep.
See, this actually works.
Yeah.
No.
I ended up, by the way, stealing my own gift bag,
Which is
which were limited.
That's a pro move.
Limited
So did I.
edition, which were limited edition Marvel mini mates. That was the nerd gift.
All right, so I'm gonna roll these dice. And let's see what happens.
We're not doing anything on these.
Oh,
dice.
no.
We're just rolling it for
No.
the heck of it, for clarity's sake.
Put that on YouTube.
I can't
Yeah,
say.
you can't say this was kind of a bad gig, but that's
Well,
all
this one's really cool though.
I tell you what.
Well, there you go. Strong roll.
Use your imagination.
Yeah,
people.
it's go to Spencer's Gifts and buy yourself a set of these. These are good.
It
Good
was
times.
blank
in the car.
Nice.
You will be blanking your blank. all in the car.
Checking your phone.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Checking the
in the
dipstick.
Yeah. You should
I can't say that on YouTube.
you should participate. You should actually demo the
I did that
eyeglass.
last week.
Not on the fantasy football podcast.
It's true. No, I'm good. I'm just good right now. I'm still recovering myself.
But even though we're not going to be back until next season, there are many other fantastic
yeah.
podcasts in the Ninja Legion podcasting network.
And they're going to be ramping back up too. I think we're doing kind of a regrouping for the new year, just getting our stuff back together. So we've got Saving Throw, which is the board game show, correct? Yes. And you've got Bagged and Boarded, which is comic books.
Yep.
Let me think.
We
There's
got,
so many shows.
Sticky Floors, which is
Movie.
reviews of current box office releases.
Yeah.
Oh, can I get involved in Sticky Floors?
Absolutely.
That'd be great. I know movies. All right, we can do that.
Absolutely.
I hear there's a show called Circle of Jerks,
Oh, yeah.
which sounds
our-
pretty amazing.
Since you are a sports fan, you will get this, and actually most of you will as well. It is our nerd version of Around the Horn.
I like it.
And
So
I'm
there's
the one
points awarded.
I'm the
and,
one who sits in the back
you're
and
the
awards
host.
points, and I tell people when to shut the hell up.
I gotta get on Circle of Jerks. I need to make a
We can
guest
make it
appearance
happen.
on Circle
We can
of
make it
Jerks.
happen.
It's
And now
pretty
we
great.
actually have a whole new audio or visual display for the screen, so we actually have we can put up a scoreboard.
So what's the subject matter?
It's
It
random
depends.
every
Oh,
time.
Like the subject matter we had for the first one was which is the best Final Fantasy and why.
Yeah, I wouldn't be involved in that
But
one. I don't know
we
anything
could
about
go
that,
through
but we
many
could do
different
many
ones.
things. All right, well, that's cool. So, you'll definitely see these guys pop up before next football season on the Ninja Legion Network. You'll probably see me too. Why not? Because it's a good time.
If you're at any of the nerd quote unquote conventions on the Middle Eastern
The
seaboard,
Mid-Atlantic.
yeah, you probably will see us out there as well at many of those. So
Yeah, if you see us out there wearing our Ninja Legion hoodies, come say hi. If you have any feedback on the show, let us know.
if somehow you're a sad soul like some of us are and play fantasy basketball
Ugh.
Yeah.
or
why would you do that?
or hockey,
Why?
some people do.
See,
But
that's-
hey, if the Twitter account's
I'm all-
going to still be open, if you want to shoot us questions,
So I'm all for watching or enjoying, but fantasy hockey.
it happens. There's a chance that
Patrick Waugh still available.
He's coaching, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a head coach.
I think that we'll talk it over, but wouldn't be surprised if we don't make an appearance and do a special show for March Madness. Help out with brackets.
Bracket talk.
Bracketology.
I would like to do
Yeah.
I would like to do that. Maybe even a bracket pool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're
And then
definitely gonna do one
at
of
the end of it,
those.
we can look back and do a recap and see how bad our picks were.
They're gonna be awful.
Fantasy baseball, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to do. Fantasy
It's just
baseball.
too much work.
I love playing fantasy baseball, but I don't know how much help we can be at this point because ESPN and other outlets do daily fantasy.
They get paid to do it. We're not getting paid yet to do this. So
Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't have money here.
That's all right. It's all
We
love.
don't make any money here.
we do it for the love of the game.
$2 last month.
Hey, we made $2 last month.
yes.
So next year we're gonna be bigger and better than ever on the fantasy football dojo. That's right. Absolutely.
Just
Making
keep
it happen.
keep the
That's
needle moving.
You can pitch that to investors. That's a 50% increase over last year.
It is.
Positive
It's
trends.
end over end, yes. But, yeah, we'll get you in on Circle of Jerks.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
That'll work. I
We can
do
film
that.
those whenever the hell we want. So we'll just make sure it's a day you are available to
There
come
you
down,
go.
sir.
Sounds good.
Typically Sundays, right?
Typically some days.
Yeah.
We do a lot of the recordings that get released shortly after they are edited, cut for time, and censoring.
Censoring.
Oh, believe me, there's going to be an epic release coming up here probably in the next 2 weeks.
Hopefully, maybe make it a Christmas special if we get it done.
Okay, it's retro review. We actually reviewed some old of our favorite video games. We played some N64 games. We played Star Fox, Bomberman, and the original Mario Kart for the 64. And there is a lot of censoring work.
Cussing.
Well, because normally we try to keep it as clean as possible, like we do on this show. But
With
that
the cock
one,
lightning. Yeah.
it's the name. I'm
It's
quoting.
just the name of the
it's a
bottle.
brand name.
Exactly. But it's going to be bad. I mean, sailors are going to blush and say, "Holy hell!"
Beeps will be had.
Well, no beeps. We do it the fun way. We start using video game noises,
Oh, nice.
like the
I
Mario,
like
like
that.
the Mario's coin sound,
Coin
tube
sound.
Exactly.
Tiku tiku.
You hear Navi from Ocarina of Time just going, "Hey, listen,"
I hate that.
You'll hear it
That'll
a
give me a
lot.
nervous tick.
because it's going to be pretty epic. So stay tuned.
Well, I guess
let's wrap it up.
Guys, thanks for watching, listening, whatever you're doing.
You.
Also, yeah, we appreciate it very much. Thank you. We'll be back next year better than ever. If you have any questions, we'll check the Twitter every once in a while.
Yeah.
But for the Fantasy Football Dojo in the 2014 season, I'm Mark.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Kirk.
Good luck, everybody. Thanks.